Peace and blessings, peace and blessings, peace and blessings. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be here. Peace and blessings, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. I'm gonna tell y'all, I almost didn't come live today because I got sick. I had a little cold, and in spirituality, in the spiritual sense, I've learned that a congestion is it's like a blockage. So it's like a spiritual blockage. So I really didn't have anything to say necessarily. Um, I didn't know what I was going to speak about. And I don't like to necessarily just come on and not have anything to speak about. And it's not that I didn't have anything to speak about, it's that I've had so many things to speak about. I just couldn't decide. And then this morning I started to get better. Peace and blessings to all of you coming in. I started to feel better and I was like, I know what I want to speak about now. And it's about the concrete rose. And it'll speak about blockages and, things of that sort. Um, because I had the cold and I was just like, I don't know what I want to talk about. I'm not sure. And I want to give a shout out to my sis Critical because she helped me a long time ago with this thumbnail on this topic, right? And I wanted to talk about it before, but now it just has so much more meaning. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people know about the concrete rose, right? We know about Tupac talking about it. Plenty of singers and artists, they mention the concrete rose. But I want to go into a deeper depth of the concrete rose. And I'm grateful for this, for the cold that I had. And I feel a lot better now. But I'm grateful for the cold that I had because it gave me more clarity on the concrete rose, that spiritual blockage. Necessarily Not necessarily knowing what to speak on or what not to speak on, or a blockage can be some type of healing or something that may be necessary, and or it's a release of something, right? Well, with the concrete rose, and a lot of us can be concrete roses, right? you know Rising in an environment that's not necessarily natural for a rose to rise from. um you know it speaks of defying all odds. It speaks of strength. It speaks of not being able to see the way, but still persevering through. A concrete rose, very powerful flower, right? Um, Being able to be focused regardless of all of the gravel around you, all of the harshness of the environment around you, you know, and still making it out to the sunlight. Even if you couldn't see it before, even if you weren't sure of the way, trusting in yourself. Terry King, thank you for coming through. I really appreciate you, Terry. Shout out to you, as a matter of fact. Like, you really been supporting me for a while. I really appreciate you, King. No doubt. You share my content on Facebook. You come through all the time. And I know you've been supportive to a lot of us, Kevin and Robert supportive channels. And I really appreciate you, King. Shout out to you. And you never, you know, You never stop your support. I really appreciate that. That means a lot to me. But the concrete rose, even if the rose, you know, uh, uh, even if nothing around it can see its value, the rose was able to see its value on its own, to find strength within itself, to have courage to continue to grow, regardless of the environment it was growing from, regardless of, the right nutrition, the lack of sunlight, the the drought of just lacking water. The rose was determined, even if the light could not have been seen, it knew it was a light to be seen, so it kept growing. And we live in a world where, the other roses that are being grown in the garden and in grass and in its natural habitat, right? It's like, you're not supposed to do that. What does this rose think that they're doing? they they're growing in an unnatural habitat. How dare they, right? But see, the concrete rose is not distracted. It doesn't deter because of the naysayers. The concrete rose is determined to rise above all odds. It lacks fear because of all of the obstacles placed in front of it already. And see, the greatest thing about a concrete rose is when it has actually surfaced to see the light. That's a powerful rose. See, that rose is no longer in question or in doubt. That rose no longer, fears any form of, uh, you know, fate consequences or, you know, judgment or, any harsh reaction to it, because it knows without a doubt its own strength, its own power, its own beauty. What's the word? Thank you for coming through, Queen. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for coming through. I'm chosen. Thank you for coming through, Queen. Peace and blessings to you, beautiful people coming in. The concrete rose, once it is risen from the concrete and it sees the light, nothing, literally nothing, none of the noise can wither it away, because it has made so many uh barriers, just broken all of them through its own journey of rising through the concrete itself, knowing that. And I'll even put it in the format of a female, just knowing how delicate and soft this rose is, it's still powerful enough to blossom through concrete. That's a powerful rose. And see, the sun acknowledges this beautiful rose. Blessed is the light that can see the power of a concrete rose. Now, we have two instances. Either you see the concrete rose because you can relate, or you see the concrete rose because you have a keen eye. That's a powerful eye. The sun is very powerful to shine its ray upon a concrete rose. Why? because knowing that my light is of value to this rose, because it had fought through everything to be shined upon. It had fought through so much, even when it could not see its own way, even when it was weary and had no understanding of which route to take to get there. It got there. And I want to even say this about this concrete rose. This concrete rose, the sun doesn't have to question if the concrete rose understands its value or sees its value, because the concrete rose can identify when the sun sees its value, because everything around this rose throughout the time of its journey hasn't seen its value. And that's what makes the rose so valuable. That's what makes the rose so grateful, because it is the sun that saw its value. And she is able to identify that her value is being seen. And she's grateful. And she blossoms because of it. Even harder, even stronger. Her rose petals are so bright because of it. So all the traffic and the honking of the horns and, the walking bys of the people with their conversations and, the rain and the other buildings that try to, stand in the way of the sunlight, it doesn't bother this rose, because the rose was in so much darkness in the beginning of its journey that the light that does shine is such a great experience. And this rose forms such a great appreciation for it that it doesn't dwindle away or become weary. It knows exactly why it's, blossoming right here in the midst of all odds. Pearly, thank you for coming through, Queen. Defying all judgment of where it's supposed to rise, how it's supposed to rise. It's rising on its own. Standing loudly, boldly, identifying itself and stating, I'm not like the other roses. I'm definitely different. I identify with that. And I'm proud of it. And it's nothing that I should hide. And I do it with ease and poise and so much beauty. And those who cannot see it is because they're lacking the sun. I see the sun, and the sun sees me. I think when a lot of people speak of the concrete rose, a lot of that understanding could be missed. The power of the journey of the rose growing through concrete, through nothing, the nothingness and yet and still was able to blossom with so much strength and courage into seem just as beautiful as all the other roses, but yet stands out more than all of the other roses. And is and just so fearless in standing alone without question, without doubt, and so much certainty of the light that it receives from the sun. Yes, Miss Pearlie, the sun shines. And when the sun goes down, that rose is still in the concrete, happy in knowing that it's going to rise again tomorrow. So it's enjoying the moonlight as well, because the sun is resting, looking forward to another day to shine yet again on that beautiful concrete rose. It's the very reason why it shines. It's the very reason why it shines. For the appreciation and the determination of that concrete rose, fighting against all odds to rise to a certain place, to be able to feel its warmth and appreciate its light. Ooh, that rose so powerful. That rose is beautiful. See, the sun gives light to the other roses in the gardens and say, I'm so grateful for your beauty. I appreciate all of y'all's beauty. Loving all of these gardens, and I'll shine on you just as equally. But it's something about that rose over there in that concrete. See, it didn't grow up in the soil, that natural soil that was needed. It didn't grow up in the in the habitat, or whatever you want to call it, a purposeful environment for it to grow. It grew up in an environment that was least expected for it to make it. And see, it may have been a lot of other roses growing in the concrete, but it was this one that made it to the light. It was this one that bloomed out of the concrete. See, a lot of them might have gotten discouraged and withered away under that concrete and was never seen. But this one right here made it. It's something spectacular about this rose. Rosalind, thank you for coming through, Queen. And that's why this rose right here can just show all its pretty red petals, just so fearlessly. Because she knows, or he knows, that I'm strong, that I have courage, and that my thought process doesn't have to identify with anything else, because it was my thought process that got me to rise through concrete. It was my thought process that got me to become this powerful, elegant, misplaced rose that everything around looks at so unexpectedly. Whether their thoughts be of, you don't belong here, or you stand out because you stand alone. Either one. However you may think of this rose stands boldly. Robin, thank you for coming through, Queen. Veronica, thank you for coming through, Queen. Peace and blessings to all of you beautiful people. Peace and blessings. I hope that everyone can identify themselves in finding themselves being a concrete rose and being proud of it, being sure of yourself. And if you can't identify yourself as being a concrete rose, identify yourself being that sunlight and finding the appreciation in the rose, being determined to feel your sunlight and your warmth. Mm. I identify with being the concrete rose. I think a lot of people might be able to identify with being the concrete rose because life has so many struggles, and a lot of us come from environments that don't necessarily give us the tools to grow and become our natural form. So our journey is to defy all odds and rise above all of it. And don't wither because of all of the naysayers, but to stay focused on the warmth of the light and shine, shine so that the light can shine back to you. See, the concrete rose doesn't have to yell at the sun that I am here. The sun sees it and loves it and values it, finds great value in the things that work through any darkness to feel its ray. That's a concrete rose. I'm so happy that I was able to, identify this story. And sometimes that's what a spiritual blockage could be, the stones or the ideas or the understanding, not knowing where you're going, not understanding where you're going, not seeing your way through to the light. You don't necessarily have what you intend to have right there in front of you, so you feel as if you don't have the answers. But the concrete rose needs nothing to necessarily validate it, because the concrete rose already has its own um, discernment, its own intuition, its own, its own form of, determination, its own identity. See, I'm not going to wither because I was not supposed to be formed here. No, the concrete rose doesn't do that. The concrete rose says, I'm going to form here because I am here. And if the roses in the garden over there growing in their natural habitat find it to be uncomfortable, it's because they're looking over here in my habitat when they need to be focused on their own. It's tough growing through concrete. It sure is. It most definitely is. But see, this is a powerful rose. I identify to be a powerful concrete rose. You want to know why? Because now I want to break some of this concrete and make way for all of my fellow roses underneath this concrete to see the light. Not because Not because I'm trying to make it easy on them. No. Because I understand how hard it is to grow from underneath the concrete. And see, I love this thumbnail that my sis gave me, because this concrete rose didn't just grow out the sidewalk. It grew from the side of a building. And see, I like this because that lets me know what type of rose I am. See, I'm so confident in my concrete rose wisdom that I didn't just, grow from the easiest place of the concrete. I went a little further. So I could stand a little taller, so that I can be seen in a higher form. I'm even more powerful than the roses in the garden expected me to be. Y'all tell them roses, if you're mad, stay mad. Because we're not focused on the roses in the garden. See, they're the natural habitat. We find appreciation for them. You blessed. Find appreciation in that. You blessed. But I'm focusing on the light, because I've spent so much of my journey not having it. I'm going to enjoy every moment in it. Every second. Every hour. Every day. Every week. Every month. Every year. To infinity and beyond. I know y'all know Buzz Lightyear from the what is it? The movie Toys or something? To infinity and beyond. That's that concrete rose right there. Yes, Pearly. See, when the concrete rose, just laughs, or has happiness, it's a disturbance to its surroundings, or anybody that's necessarily not looking for it to have laughter or have peace, or enjoy itself for who it is. You know what I'm saying? But that's okay, because the concrete rose is concentrated on the happiness that the sun finds with it. They laughing together. They appreciate it together. They have a form of understanding that nothing else around them can have. See, the sun understands the rose, and the rose understands the sun. Because see, the sun stands alone as well. And in all its power and glory, it yet shines. It shines, and it provides its warmth to everything, regardless of their lack of appreciation for it. But that concrete rose appreciates that sunlight. Now that concrete rose gets it. And the concrete rose gets the sun. They see the value in each other. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. See, a lot of people in life, they don't understand the true value. And that's why they can't find the true appreciation. But it's those who go through the struggle and are able to make it through that struggle that provides an everlasting gratefulness that cannot be deterred. Ooh, that's a powerful rose. That's why throughout all these years, you hear about the concrete rose. You grew up with less. You literally had nothing. Nothing was provided to you. How did you make it? The question is, how did you make it? What gave you whatever it is that you needed to get here? And then the nerve to shine so strong and just beautiful. Yes, Pearly. Tupac knew about it. How did you do it? Well, that's a good question, ain't it? And now Angie got a lot of answers to that. So be mindful of the answers that you provide. Because there's a lot of people who want to come and clip you off of that concrete. And this is what I tell them all the time. In order to be or to know how a concrete rose grows from the concrete, you gotta grow from the concrete. You gotta grow from it. You gotta do it on your own. See, some of this I can't give to you. Some of this you got to go through to know. And if you scared to go through the darkness, if you scared to feel the pressure, if it hurts you, you're not gonna make it. So just find peace in how blessed you are in growing in your natural habitat. Don't take away from the concrete rose's strength. Be proud of it. Or not. It's up to you. Don't look at the relationship between the concrete rose and the sun as a problem. Be proud of it. Or not. It's up to you. But either way, that concrete rose will not wither because of it. And the sun gonna keep shining regardless of it. And those roses growing in that garden, they can't seem to keep their eyes on their own soil. They wither themselves away. But as concrete roses, we're going to keep our eyes on the prize, right? We're going to stay focused on the sun. We're going to stay focused on the sun. Because, boy, what a joyous day to see that we've made it through the concrete to feel the warmth and the rays of the sun. And I'll be damned if I let anything take me away from it. See, it was other roses that I was growing with, when we were just little stems. And they got stuck underneath some of that concrete. Some of them didn't even try to grow. Some of them still feeling pressure as it, like the weight is on their shoulders. And it's crushing their petals. But see, I couldn't help them through the concrete until I got from underneath that concrete. And so I can grow stronger so that I can crack some of this concrete for my fellow roses to come on out. Come on out, y'all. Let's show the other roses in that garden over there. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we some powerful roses over here. And instead of feeling like we should get like them, they start to find appreciation in why we found the power in staying like ourselves. And so I tell the sun, just like Erykah Badu said, and I love Erykah Badu, but she was saying, if you were worried about where I've been or who I saw or what club I went to with my homies, baby, don't worry. You know that you got me. That's the conversation that I had with the sun. And the sun smiles. Said, I can tell that I got you. Because you just sitting there above all that concrete, showing all your rose petals. And I look forward to every morning to shine above you. Because you appreciate it. You were determined to see it. And because you were determined to see it, I'm determined to see you. Yeah, look, and it's so crazy because I really wanted to figure out what I wanted to talk about, and I was so sick, y'all. And yeah, my sis boy, I was on the phone with her, and I was just so congested, and it didn't last long. That's so strange. I don't know, but when I woke up this morning, I was like, I'm gonna talk about blockages. I'm gonna talk about the concrete roads. See, it's a lot of things placed in your path to make you stuck, to make you, to make it harder for you to make it. So you don't know what you're gonna do. And that's how I looked at my, my congestion, just not feeling good, not knowing what I'm gonna talk about, and probably not even go live. You know what I'm saying? But it's the determination. You know what I'm saying? It's the push through, regardless of how you feel or, whether you can see it through or not. The push that makes you so much valuable. The strength, the courage. You're powerful people. The pressure is not placed upon you without reason. It's placed upon you because it knows exactly what you are. And it is up to you to find your way through it so that you can be just that, who you are. And do it boldly. And everything around you can be in disagreement. But that does not matter. None of it matters. The only thing that matters is you. And the sun finds appreciation in that because you get it. And because you were determined to see that. and it don't stop. It gets better and better and better and better. And more better and more better and more better and more better. Because every day that you done made it through all of the weariness, all of the trials, all of the letdowns, all of the upsets, and all of the frustration, and all of the fears, and everything, you done made it through all of that, and you shining, baby. Your red just the glowing off them rose petals. Your green is so bright. You got your leaves; they just look so perfect and fresh. The aura around you is just so powerful and strong, confident. Swag. What they say, I got the sauce. Drip, drip on them. It's such a glorious feeling. Yes. That sun shines so bright. I'm telling you, the communication between the rose and the sun is a form of communication that can't be understood by anything else. Nor can it be distracted. It's an ongoing conversation. It's a cipher. 360 measurements. Oh, on and on and on and on. My cipher keeps rolling like a rolling stone. I can't control this soul flowing in me. Ooh. Can't stop, won't stop. It's a form of communication that's just endless. It's music that just you can't turn it off. It's a vibration. You got to be on this level to feel this level. The rhythm, the beat, the dance between the rose and the sun. it's gonna have everything around you feel so intimidated. But that's only confirmation that you're doing the right things. See, the concrete rose is authentic. It has no problem standing alone. It's showing its power. And that's why I say, ooh, look at that rose down there. So powerful. Shining above. Reflecting the light of the sun. Showing me why I shine. And I wasn't going to stay before y'all long because even though, I came with the story of the concrete rose, I'm still a little down. I feel a whole lot better today, but I'm still, making my way through it. But I wanted to give y'all some words of encouragement, and not to be ashamed of being a concrete rose. And don't let people, places, or things make you feel uncomfortable with being just that. Because there's a higher form out here that's looking for you to be exactly who you are. There's a higher source out here that is yearning for you to be exactly who you are. And once you identify that understanding within yourself, Well, you can't be stopped. You fall in love with that, and it makes you determined even more. And see, the thing with the concrete rose is when it gets closer to that understanding, without even realizing, that's when it is able to actually make it through the concrete to be able to shine and blossom so boldly. Because that understanding is like, whoo, I found my purpose. I know why I'm doing this. And everything that was placed before me, I now understand that it was placed there for this very moment. And nothing was a waste of my time. Nothing was done wrong, but it was done in my favor. Kevin, thank you for coming through, King. Yes, I was talking about the concrete rose and just giving my perspective on the concrete rose. Now, if you can hit the replay, King, it's very powerful. And we've all heard about the concrete rose, but I just wanted to give my little, my own authentic thought process to it. So, hit the replay. And also I wanted to start to do some more content on and I was going to discuss basically the mind of a kidnapped child, basically from the last discussion that I had, where you asked for, my thoughts on the video breakdown. And I've been looking at some videos, so hopefully I'll be able to come through with something. I haven't quite found something in particular quite yet, and mostly because I want to touch on parents that most people can identify with, because a lot of people identify problematic parents, of course, with some form of drug abuse or neglect or hardship. But there's a lot of parents out here who still give their children the thought process of a kidnapped child through what this society will call normal. They're normal parents, right? Quote unquote. A Stokes, thank you for coming through, Queen. Yes, Pearly, thank you. And so I want to be able to break that down because, a lot of us can't necessarily see, certain things within what they call quote unquote normal uh, parenting or family units. And I think some of that needs to be highlighted. I think some of that needs to be understood. Thank you, Pearly. I appreciate you coming consistently. I'm here. Yes, thank you so much, Queen. But I'm gonna work on that because I got some things coming. But yeah, I talked about the concrete rose today. And how strong and powerful the concrete rose is, and how delighted the sun is to see it, and how they both form an appreciation for each other because of all of the determination for that rose to grow, to feel and to see the light, and the light seeing how that rose grew through all of that, defying all odds, just to feel its ray and to see its light. It's a beautiful relationship between the sun and the concrete rose. It's dope. Poetic justice. Everybody snap your fingers. Everybody now, not one person at a time. And I wanted to do that because of the congestion that I had from being sick, but I have an ongoing cipher. See, the thing about the soul is it's a fire that burns within. And as long as you keep that fire burning, anything that you talk about, anything that you place your hands on, you know, it's nonstop. It's magical, how you can just, create life in anything. And that's something about a concrete rose, being able to create its own life through anything, regardless to whether the existence or the environment around it was formed in its favor or not. It's a powerful, powerful rose. And so that's what I spoke about today. Even with the little sun, that's powerful. Most definitely. You got some tall skyscrapers around this building, or around the sidewalks and things like that, so sometimes the sun can't necessarily directly see that rose, but it sees it from the corners, right? Like, I see you. And the higher it gets into the sun, into the sky, it's like, I definitely see you now. And the rose is like, you see me and all my red petals. You see me and I see you and we see each other. And then you got all the other roses in the garden, just look at them looking at each other. Well, peace and blessings to all of y'all beautiful people. And continue to grow through that concrete. Because, this existence don't want you to. And that's exactly why you should do it anyway. And smile the entire time. And I'll talk to y'all soon.